Welcome to the Co-Authoring Chronicles podcast, 2 voices, 1 tale.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. I'm Helen Corvis, and I'm joined by my co-author.
Hi, everyone. This is Steaphan.
So today we are contemplating and looking backwards on our journey thus far, and we're going to be talking about a year with Kindle Vella. I know that you may not all be familiar with the platform, but hopefully a little more than you were a year ago. When we were first thinking about co-authoring and we had to make a decision about where it was, what platform we initially wanted to publish our work on, we settled on Kindle Vella for a variety of reasons. And lately they've been advertising a little bit more of their services. You might have seen some of their ads on Reddit and elsewhere. And we thought we'd cover our experience. So, Steaphan, over to you.
Exactly right. And even among the different serial fiction platforms, Kindle Vella is a relatively new player. I would say it was about 3 years, 2.5, maybe 3 years. They've been doing serial fiction, and definitely heard in the early days a lot of authors talking about Kindle Vella. I would say the hype has slowed down, but there are still authors doing pretty well in it, and we're going to get into kind of the good and the bad of it.
What about the Sunny? Will we be covering the Sunny?
That was last episode.
Oh,
We're not yet. No, there is some sunny.
all right. Okay, so let's get started. Kindle Vella, where would you like to start?
Well, there's why would you want to do it as an author? The first, I guess, pro is that the platform makes it easy for just uploading content. There's really no formatting, very little formatting. You just upload your text or your document. Kindle Vella knows how they want to display it, and it processes it for you. So if you have a KDP account, it's really easy. Couple clicks, you can have your Kindle Vella section and then just upload and create a series. So super low entry effort.
Yeah, no, not much of a barrier at all, right? You just have to have content. Totally agree. And I think when we initially thought about it, that was the key reason. Our co-authorship was fairly new, and we wanted to ensure that we had something that wouldn't get in our way, honestly, to move forward.
Yeah, it's not really a requirement. It's up to each author, but another, I guess you could infer as a low barrier to entry is that I don't think very many authors like they're not going to editors and stuff before they publish on Kindle Vella. They might have an art team or, some reviewers that review their episodes. But my impression is that most authors either self-edit and just throw it into Vella, or
We delicately upload and place it in a demure and mindful way.
yes. You want to hit number two?
Sure. The other important thing for us about Kindle Vella, and I'll admit, I never had a lot of aspirations for Kindle Vella. It would have been wonderful if I'd become fantastically famous, and so had Stefan, and we made so much money we could swim in it like Scrooge McDuck. But the actual reason that would have been a bonus. But the other pro about moving to Kindle Vella was that it actually was one thing that allowed us to publish our content in a format to where we legally could move on later to a different platform if we ever wanted to make a novel or move to a book version of our content. We weren't really signing over the rights to the content in that manner to Kindle Vella. So it actually there was a forward path for us beyond it, and it supported that.
It allowed us to get to this next stage where we could have something live and not be done yet, actually. But when we aren't, now that we are done, we have more options. Obviously, for a standard ebook, of course, you have to be done or you publish it. Whereas serial fiction, some authors probably do have the whole season written, maybe, or 100 episodes ahead or something like that. Uh, but you have that also flexibility.
But we're not those kinds of people.
Yeah, yes. Well, we did write a little bit ahead so that we could not be late. Or
Yeah. Anywho, all right. So that was a good reason for us to pick Kindle Vella, and we're at that stage now where we can have a book, and I love it. So, and I would say for that exact reason, and maybe for both those two prior reasons, we may be considering Kindle Vella for the next co-authored work as well. But time will tell. Reason three, Stefan.
the platform has market exposure. As we said, it's part of Amazon, KDP Publishing, the largest ebook retailer and book retailer probably in the world. And so it has those connections. For example, when you have a Vela account, you can actually link it to your Author Central. So if you have a mix of Vela and books published, whether it's their ebooks or paper, that you have that same author profile. So you get that advantage on their platform. And then, of course, recently they appear to be adding more features for Amazon ad integration that was kind of reserved for standard book publishers. They're building up and ramping up on that. And then just in general, you're probably going to have better luck pushing external ads from Kindle Vella than some lesser known serial fiction platforms out there. So you get those kind of advantages.
We'll have to do a follow-up episode when we attempt their ad features. That'll be
Yes.
interesting. Okay, so generally speaking, I think those are some pretty solid pros. But of course, I think as Stefan promised, we were going to cover the not pros or the cons, as you might say. So I'll tackle the first one. So the first con we kind of want to discuss is that while we were using the platform, like mid publish, so to speak, they actually changed their marketing and pricing model on us. When we first joined, I believe it was the first 3 episodes would be available for free to readers. And I really like that, right? Because I do think that it's a good idea. Let people have an understanding of the content before they purchase or spend their tokens. And true, I think Kindle Vella, and back me up here or don't back me up, but
Mm,
I believe the pricing, their token model was never very straightforward to start with. Like in order to read on Kindle Vella, you would buy tokens, but the token translation to the dollar or currency was never fixed, right? You could buy
okay.
different packages. Yeah, like at Chuck E. Cheese, right? So
Mhm.
the more you spend, the more tokens you get. And we understood that going in, but while we were publishing, they changed it from 3 free episodes to 10 free episodes, which for us actually made a difference in how we were publishing.
Yeah. And they also changed the tokens were based on the amount of text for the non-free first 3 free ones. If you're an author and you were making episodes that were more like chapters in a novel, you'd get compensated for that. And then, but now it's a flat rate. So,
Mhm.
and a royalty side. So basically, flat rate for the reader and then of course the author's
Yeah.
fee.
So for us, we had to actually contemplate a change in what an episode looked like for us. Back to that previous theory where we become Scrooge McDuck. One does not get to become Scrooge McDuck without actually understanding what unit of sale you're operating under. And so for us, what used to be a block of text, or a chunk of text being our sale unit, all of a sudden it changed to being per episode.
Yeah.
So we had to kind of revamp what we thought an episode was and how we wanted to sell it.
Yeah. Okay, so the number 2 con, and I say con, but it's not yet, but I have a feeling it will be for some. Um, and that is, as with the rest of the KDP platform, when you publish books, they have a little AI questionnaire. How much was written using AI? And they ask you various different questions to find the scope. Was it just for grammar checking, or you're actually writing with AI? So that was for entire novels. On Bella, they ask you for every single episode that you upload. They haven't announced anything yet, though some other policies they've been slowly changing. What you would call low quality content policies have been getting stricter on Amazon KDP. So for people that are basically publishing junk, whether it was AI generated or not, kind of clamping down a little bit on that with policies. We don't know where these AI policies are going, but it's that mystery, right? And if you were someone that was saying, "Hey, I'd like to push my stories along and get AI to give me ideas," this might be a risk for you because you
Yeah.
don't know where they're going. Lots of
Yeah.
different technologies coming out that actually can detect now AI textual writing. I don't know if it's plus or minus more accurate because I know like the AI image detecting software packages, which I use several, um, because I have illustrators for my novels, and so I check because I don't want AI art in as my illustrations. That is not very accurate today. So I have a feeling this is going to improve though.
Yeah, and I think I've seen a few, what is it, manifested fears on the internet that somehow your non-AI generated text content will somehow get flagged as AI.
Mhm,
And so,
mhm.
yeah, I think anyone as a content creator should be wary
Yeah.
for either reason, legit or non-legit, you're going to be impacted. So that's something
Well, and as
not
it pertains to Amazon, there's so many stories about them shutting down author accounts based on other people doing bad things.
Mhm. Okay. And so on to our last concern. And it was pretty interesting for me because I've never really thought about this before, but there were several moments where we were wondering if Kindle Vella was actually going to survive as an Amazon product. When we started, there really wasn't, I think a lot of the features were not there. A lot of times, Stefan and I would do a podcast and say, well, these are the advantages of publishing as a book. There would be a lot of things like advertising, for example, and Kindle Vella didn't have a lot of this stuff built in. And so for a while there, we were like, what if the platform goes away? What are we going to do legally? Where does that leave our content, right? Because I know then immediately you might think, hey, I'll just shift to another platform, but we did sign an agreement in some shape or form. So there were some questions about that. And then later on, when the first time I saw a Kindle Vella ad, I thought on Reddit, I was like, oh my goodness, they're investing in the platform. That's when they started changing the structure. And I think, Stefan, you had a different reaction, right?
Well, yeah, because at the same time, about the same time they added the ad features, they also launched author awards or basically, yeah, awards for good good writing on Vella, but only for new authors publishing new things on Vella. And I was like, does that mean you're not getting the market share that you need? Because Amazon doesn't generally like giving free money away because it was a monetary prize for
Mhm.
the Vella. So yeah, it's hard to tell. But one thing in all book publishing, especially indies, you'll hear is go wide, which means don't put all of your eggs in one basket. For a novel, this is even with Amazon, it's fairly easy to do that. If you're not in Kindle Unlimited for a novel, you can go wide contractually, which means you can sell direct, you can sell on other platforms. Kindle Vella is not that way. So if you are all invested in Vella and your series is not complete, unless they've changed their policy, which I'll check and put it in the notes if they did. The last I checked is you if your series is not finished on Vella, you can't be on other serial fiction platforms. So you can't be wide with serial fiction on Vella.
Mhm. Yeah, and I know we mentioned that as a pro. Once we hit the end of our series, if we want to novelize, we are totally free to go. So that definitely understanding those kinds of policies did shape our planning. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's our year with Kindle Vella. I will say overall, it's as a tool, I think it has worked for the purposes that I was interested in. I was definitely motivated to keep uploading episodes, and I think it helped a lot with ushering me to a finished product.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think it's a little bit easier. I don't know. We'll find out, but I think it's easier co-authoring with the serial fiction, any platform, just doing things one step at a time than co-authoring a novel. I'm
Mm.
just throwing that out there, spitballing, but we'll find out for sure here. But it's because you're doing it these
Maybe we should ask some co-authors of a novel, Stefan.
that is a very good idea. All
Oh,
right. Anything else before we go?
no, no. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and we will talk soon. Bye.
We hope you're enjoying this podcast. You can help others find us by rating this show, leaving a review, or sharing a link. We invite you to read our serial fiction, In the Arms of the Void, available on Kindle Vella.